Veterans turn to cannabis for healing, but what happens when relief turns to harm? Introducing Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome, a little-known condition causing intense nausea and pain in long-term cannabis users.
CHS changed everything for John. What started as relief became a fight for answers and dignity.
The stigma silences veterans. It's time to speak up.
Diagnosis is often delayed. Recognizing the signs can save lives.
Join us as we unpack the science, the stories, and the solutions with real voices, real battles, and real hope.
Welcome to Club Orpheus, where we dive deep into topics that matter to our community. Today, we're discussing a condition that might be unfamiliar to many, but is crucial for veterans using cannabis for therapeutic relief. It's called Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome, or CHS. Joining me are Christopher and Angela, who will help us unpack this complex issue. Welcome, Christopher and Angela. Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome is a paradoxical condition affecting some long-term, frequent cannabis users. Despite cannabis's well-known anti-nausea properties, CHS causes repeated bouts of severe nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pain. Christopher, can you share more about the symptoms and why this happens?
Sure. The key symptoms include persistent nausea, vomiting episodes that can occur up to 5 times an hour, abdominal pain and cramping, compulsive hot showers or baths for temporary relief, loss of appetite, and weight loss. The exact cause isn't fully understood, but researchers believe it's due to overstimulation of cannabinoid receptors in the gut and brain after years of heavy use.
That's fascinating and quite concerning. Angela, how does this condition uniquely impact veterans?
Veterans may be more vulnerable to CHS due to high-frequency use of cannabis to manage symptoms like PTSD and chronic pain. The delayed diagnosis is common because CHS mimics other conditions like cyclic vomiting syndrome or GI disorders. Additionally, stigma and fear of judgment or legal repercussions can prevent veterans from reporting cannabis use in clinical settings, delaying proper care.
That's a critical point. The stigma surrounding cannabis use can deeply undermine veterans' access to safe, effective healthcare. What can be done to support veterans facing CHS?
Education is key. Veterans need clear, stigma-free information about CHS and its symptoms. Supportive care from clinicians who understand cannabis use in the context of trauma and chronic illness is essential. Policy reform to allow VA providers to discuss cannabis openly and provide legal protections and funding for research into safer cannabis use and CHS prevention is also crucial.
Absolutely. Organizations like the Veterans Cannabis Project and Veterans Cannabis Coalition are leading the charge to support veterans' rights to access medical cannabis. They offer advocacy, education, and direct support, blending science, empathy, and advocacy.
Thank you both for sharing your insights. It's clear that awareness and education are vital in addressing CHS among veterans. Now, let's hear a real story from a veteran who has experienced CHS firsthand. Today we have a special guest, John, a veteran, who has graciously agreed to share his experience with CHS. John, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about your journey with CHS?
Thank you, Dave. My journey with CHS started a few years after I began using cannabis to manage my PTSD and chronic pain. At first, cannabis was a lifesaver, helping me sleep and reducing my anxiety. But over time, I started experiencing severe nausea and vomiting episodes that I couldn't explain. I was misdiagnosed several times, and it wasn't until I learned about CHS that I realized what was happening.
That sounds incredibly challenging. How did you manage these symptoms, and what steps did you take to find relief?
It was tough. I found temporary relief with hot showers, but the symptoms kept coming back. Eventually, I had to stop using cannabis completely, which was a difficult decision. I saw support from organizations like the Veterans Cannabis Project, which provided me with information and resources to manage my condition.
Thank you for sharing your story, John. It's important for veterans to hear real experiences like yours. What advice would you give to other veterans who might be experiencing similar symptoms?
Don't be afraid to speak up and seek help. CHS is real and it's not a judgment on your use of cannabis. Educate yourself, find supportive healthcare providers, and connect with organizations that advocate for veterans' rights. You're not alone in this.
Thank you, John, for your bravery and honesty. Your story will undoubtedly help many veterans understand and address CHS. To provide further insights, we have Dr. Jerry Bisham, a leading expert in cannabinoid research. Dr. Bisham, thank you for joining us. Can you explain why CHS is often misdiagnosed and what healthcare providers should look for?
Thank you, Dave. CHS is often misdiagnosed because its symptoms mimic other gastrointestinal disorders, such as cyclic vomiting syndrome and gastroenteritis. One distinguishing feature is the compulsive use of hot showers, or baths, for symptom relief, which is not commonly seen in other conditions. Healthcare providers should consider CHS in patients with a history of long-term heavy cannabis use who present with recurrent nausea and vomiting.
What steps can be taken to improve the diagnosis and treatment of CHS among veterans?
Education and awareness are crucial. Healthcare providers need to be informed about CHS and its symptoms to make accurate diagnoses. Additionally, veterans should be encouraged to disclose their cannabis use without fear of judgment or legal repercussions. Treatment primarily involves cessation of cannabis use, but supportive care, such as hydration and anti-nausea medications, can help manage symptoms during the withdrawal period.
Thank you, Dr. Bisham, for your valuable insights. It's clear that both education and supportive care are essential in addressing CHS among veterans.
And that wraps up today's episode. We hope you found the discussion insightful and engaging.
Absolutely, Christopher. Remember, you can find links to all the resources and advice we mentioned in the episode notes. Don't forget to check them out.
Before we go, we want to give a special shout out to some incredible organizations making a difference in the veteran community through cannabis advocacy. Veterans Cannabis Project, advocates for full legal access to medical cannabis for veterans, offering storytelling campaigns, policy outreach, and local advocate programs. Veterans Cannabis Coalition focuses on federal and state reform, research, and education, founded by veteran Eric Gopal to end cannabis prohibition and promote access. Veterans Cannabis Group, a peer-led group providing education, safe access, and industry opportunities for veterans, strengthening ties between veteran communities and cannabis businesses. Weed for Warriors Project, WFWP, a social justice lifestyle brand supporting holistic rehabilitation through cannabis education, community projects, and advocacy. Veterans Alliance for Holistic Alternatives, VAHA. Founded by Marine Corps veteran Gary Hess, VAHA promotes open access to medical cannabis through outreach and policy reform. Veterans Mental Health Leadership Coalition, VMHLC, led by retired Marine Lieutenant General Martin Steele. VMHLC supports breakthrough therapies, including cannabis, and lobbies Congress for reform. Santa Cruz Veterans Alliance, SCVA, provides free, lab-tested cannabis to veterans through its Veteran Compassion Program in California. Battle Brothers Foundation partners with Hellman Valley Growers Company to fund veteran mentorship and cannabis research. Hero Grown Foundation offers education and support for veterans seeking alternatives to prescription drugs, founded by a father-son veteran team.
And let's not forget the veteran-owned cannabis brand supporting advocacy. Ananda Farms donates proceeds to Veterans Ananda, offering free care to veterans and first responders. CNA Stores supports East Coast veterans through donations and outreach. Simply Pure, a veteran-founded dispensary prioritizing veteran patients.
Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.
This has been a presentation of the Club Orpheus Medicinal Cannabis Lounge. You can contact us at Club Orpheus, P.O. Box 265, Sierra Vista, Arizona 85636, or by emailing cluborpheus@littlediddy.com. That's LIDDLEDIDI.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Club Orpheus podcast. I'm your host, David Little. And until next time, take care and stay well.